Welcome to Sips and Tips. I'm Dia.
I'm Abby. Thanks for joining us. Cheers.
Cheers. Tell us what we have, Abby.
We have a little summer sangria here.
Yours is almost empty.
Well, sometimes it takes us a few minutes to get set up, and I was
That's
just
true.
over here slurping.
That's
so.
right.
But yeah, we've got a little red wine and rum
And an orange.
and an orange and
Some
some
fruit.
limes and strawberries.
It's delish.
Yes.
I'm gonna have a little sip.
I love sangria, but it is kind of dangerous. It can totally sneak up on you
Mm.
because it goes down like punch.
I think this is like amazing. Thank you, friend, for making this. Today I needed this.
Yes. Cheers,
Cheers
to a Thursday sangria.
Yeah, we film on Thursdays, right? So, this Thursday sangria was super needed. So,
Well, hopefully the rest of your day goes
Yes.
uphill from
Well, I saw your-
downhill, uphill, I don't
yeah,
know.
I don't know.
Smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing, exactly. We've been doing a little more real estate. It's been a little hectic.
It feels like it's picking up. Like I was kind of slow the beginning of the year. Things have there's been such low inventory that it's
There
like
has
there's nothing to go see.
I agree. And all of a sudden, I think we're seeing homes maybe last like 1 or 2 more days on the market than they have been.
Right.
I'm actually getting listing agents that'll pick up their phone and talk to me. Isn't that great when I'm representing a buyer?
And I had a listing agent call me yesterday and ask for feedback because she wasn't sure why their house was still on the market and why they hadn't received any offers and why they were doing a price reduction. So
We are starting to see interest rates rise.
yes, rates are rising. And
uh-oh.
we've got a visitor.
Oh, we've got a visitor.
It's okay.
Come on in.
One of the hazards of filming at your home.
True.
Sometimes you have my dog barking or Mr. Wall
Walking
walking
through.
Anyways, fun times.
Yeah, fun time. So we were talking about the rates going up. I think you had a great example. You had with the same lender. What did you have?
Last Monday, a client locked in at 4.9, and this Monday, same lender, different client, locked in at 5.75.
Yeah.
Now, granted, very different loan scenarios, very different price points.
And I mean,
big
people's
difference.
credit,
They
big
both have
difference.
good credit,
They both
so
have
it
good
wasn't a
credit, so it
credit
wasn't a credit thing. And I've been able to lock a couple of clients in the very low 5s. So thankful for that, and like at 5.25, 5.125.
I just don't think we're going to see anything below 5 anytime real
I don't
estate.
either.
We're pretty much
yeah.
in the 5s.
Yeah, and it's not tragic though, y'all, as buyers. It's really not. We've been here before. We've been much higher. So
We were in the 5s right before COVID.
Exactly.
If our memories have failed us along with having COVID.
People are like, oh no, but
Yeah.
it's
And then, it obviously drastically
Drastically
dropped
dropped,
during
yeah.
COVID to help boost the housing market.
Mhm.
But
And now they're trying to put the brakes on.
Right, 5 is still a really good rate.
It really is. It really is. So
Even 6 is a good rate.
yeah.
First house I bought was like in the high 60s.
Yeah, I think Greg and I were talking about that when we moved to New York. We were probably maybe mid 5s. And that was probably around 2005. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me, but my memory's getting really bad these days, so I don't know.
Well, drink a little more
I
sangria.
think I'll drink a little more
and we'll see what
sangria and then we'll
happens.
see what happens. Mhm.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, it's not a scary time for
No.
buyers or
No.
for sellers. If anything, I think it's going to help balance the market, make it a little bit more fair.
Yep.
Make, thankfully for agents, make hopefully the job a little bit more enjoyable.
Enjoyable,
Again, it's been a
pleasant.
rough couple of months
Yes,
for
it has been.
trying to represent buyers.
Absolutely, yep. So, speaking of buyers and sellers and stuff like that, real estate, thought it might be a good idea to talk about home inspections. What do you think?
think it is.
Especially given the market we've been in, and maybe talk about what you and I see with home inspections from the viewpoint of a buyer and from the viewpoint of a seller, but also as our market is trying to stabilize a little more, what that means for us with home inspections. Do you want
That's
to
a
share?
great topic. You go first.
Me go first? Okay. So I would say in the market that we've been in, it's been a super strong seller's market. Offers are coming out of your ears if you're a seller. It's kind of that market where I still tell my clients I really want you to have a home inspection because I really do believe in that. I think you should know what you're buying and purchasing. But at the end of the day, you're going to be offering probably at or probably over or at asking price, and you're not going to be asking for probably any concessions because you know doggone well that that listing agent has accepted 3 other backup offers already.
Right.
You know, and they're all cash, by the way. So you can't go in as a buyer and go, oh, well, you know, the HVAC filter looked dirty, and I saw an old water stain, and you know.
Yeah, but the roof's new.
The
so
roof's new,
clearly it's
right?
an
The
old
roof's
water
new, and the HVAC, you know, is probably 5 years old. I mean, it's really one of these things where obviously it's a buyer's comfort level, whether they want to continue on. And I always share with my buyers, look, I don't have to live in your house. I'm not going to pay your mortgage for you. That would be really cool if I could, though, but I can't. So I would say from the buyer perspective, we've kind of been pushed into a corner a little bit with sellers where it's kind of like as is. We've seen a lot of as is sales. Now, as is doesn't necessarily mean that you can't inspect. It just means the seller's not willing to do any of the repairs.
Right.
But at least you as the buyer are aware of some of the items that might be a little larger, or aware of the whole house, right, on the front end.
An informational inspection,
Right.
which is very handy.
Right. So what would you say, what would you say as we start balancing out?
I would say we're definitely just starting to balance, so I don't
I know.
know what's going to happen exactly, but over the last couple of weeks, I've seen both. I've seen my buyers have as-is, purchases with just a home inspection, and then I've had a buyer that was actually able to negotiate a substantial amount in closing costs in lieu of repairs. So
Was it large items? Would you say it was big ticket items, or what would you say?
To the buyer it was, maybe not in general, but we were able to find a middle ground, and everybody ended up being happy enough to proceed forward. So,
And I think that really is the key. I just did the same thing. There were some things wrong. People live in homes. I mean, some of these homes that are 20 years old, there's something that's going to be, going on with the house. And I think you just have to decide from the buyer's perspective, is it worth, do they love the property enough to move ahead and move forward
Right.
with it?
and one cool feature that several of our home inspection companies that we recommend offer now is basically they partner with a company, a third-party company that goes through the report. They have about 48 hours to do that after the inspection, and then they do send the buyer an estimate for the repairs. Now,
kind of for all the repairs.
right, you and I have talked about
Yeah.
this. Sometimes the estimates seem very good, and sometimes they seem very crazy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
again, it's just a ballpark, but it can be kind of peace of mind for the buyer. For
I think
instance,
so.
mine that's buying the house as is, we got that back, and it was about $2,500 worth of repairs.
Which is in the
Which
big,
is-
I don't know how much the house was.
Well, it was, that was not a significant amount
Okay.
for her, but it was good peace of mind for her to kind of have an idea when she calls the plumber, it's probably going to cost about this much to repair the water heater.
Yeah, and it gives her something else to compare to. Like you said, it might be a good tool to use when you're calling in vendors.
Exactly.
So that's a good point to make.
It's just, it's kind of like, is it the Bible? No. Like, the repairs may cost, well, actually, you can use that company to do the
That's
repairs,
what I
so
mean.
then I
You
guess
can, yeah.
that is
Yeah.
the price, but it's still just nice to have kind of that ballpark.
Mhm.
And one thing I did want to mention too is like new construction, because we are still seeing quite a bit of new construction.
Although it's taking a year, so next year, when we finally get to close, no, what do you?
Yeah, exactly. When your house may or may not
May
be
or may
built
not be
by
built.
2025.
Yeah.
I always recommend getting a home inspection, and if you
Amen,
can,
sister.
a pre-drywall inspection. If you get in on the ground floor, why not get that done?
So I have a little quick story. Do you remember this one?
I do. I think I know what this is.
Yeah, you do. You remember this one. So this is a true story. #truth. So I had a client go to new construction. They went through the whole thing. They put a lot of deposit, like earnest money deposit, because it was for upgrades, and a lot of new construction require you to either pay for 100% of the upgrades or 50% of the upgrades. It all depends on their business model, but typically a buyer is paying for some portion of their upgrades that they've chosen at the design center. So the house proceeds to be built. We hire an inspection company, one that I've used for a long time. One of their guys comes out that I use often. He does the pre-drywall inspection, and lo and behold, there are some major structural issues that he kind of points out. So of course, the protocol would be to give them the inspection report, obviously notify the on-site agent. Well, I go back by this house, it was like a Friday, so I go by on a Saturday, and next thing you know, they have sheetrocked over the whole problem sheetrocked over it. But I have pictures, but still, they just sheetrocked over it. I was just like,
And
no,
they obviously haven't fixed it.
they didn't fix it.
It's
Because
been
I was
like, what, 12 hours?
like 12 hours, exactly. Like they were in bed sleeping, but you know.
Yeah.
But anyways, so it took months of me fighting for this particular buyer. And we finally all sat down at the table, the builder, the on-site agent, my clients, and myself. And lo and behold, the builder said, so Dia, we didn't mean to sheetrock over that. Like their crew was already in motion, you know. That crew just thought that's the day we're supposed to sheetrock, so we're gonna slap it up like they do and whatever. But lo and behold, it was a huge issue, so much so that they had to redraw the whole entire house plan. They offered my buyers, we'd already terminated, by the way, and I pretty much told, you know, terminations on new construction, y'all, you lose your money. I mean, that's typically what happens. So I told them, you're gonna walk away from this amount of money, and they said yes, because they just didn't have trust anymore in this builder. And at the end of the day, we wrote lots of letters, but we did not buy the house. They ended up redrawing the house plans, but not for my client, because at this point they were already so turned off due to the lack of communication and trying to sit down and resolve this issue. So it probably took 3 to 4 months, but lo and behold, after lots of letter writing, my clients got their money back, y'all, and it was like double digit. How do you say that? It was like a lot of money. But that's how you say it. It was,
Started with, 5 numbers, right?
yeah, I was gonna say it was a lot of money. And so,
And not with a 1 in front of it.
not with a 1 in front of it, by the way. And so at the end of the day, I think the lesson on that is, please, if you're going to do new construction, spend the few extra dollars to do the pre-drywall inspection, and obviously one at the end, but that is that one is even probably more important, I would say, than maybe even a final. And the other thing I would tell you is, yes, you do not need to have an agent represent you, but all day long, this story showed how it took my pushing along with my client to get the leverage, and it took months, but we ended up getting my client's money back. So I promise you won't be led astray. Bring an agent with you. Let someone represent you.
Oh,
The on-site agents are lovely. I will say this, all on-site agents typically that I work with,
That's
that's their job,
lovely.
is to be lovely. And I tell my clients, it doesn't cost you anything typically on the buy side to bring a buyer's agent in on new construction.
Right.
Think about
We
doing
have
it.
a long list of stories
We
of
do.
how things have gone astray with new construction that, for the most part, have been able to be, worked out in some way, shape, or form to benefit the buyer. But had they not been working with an agent, I don't know what would have happened.
I don't either. It helps to have leverage, y'all. That's the game right there. So, but yeah, in terms of sellers, I mean, we talked about buyers a little bit. What do you recommend for sellers to prep their home? Like, what can they do to anticipate an inspection?
One of the main things is change the HVAC filters, because those always come up,
Clean the dryer vent might be one.
Yeah, clean the dryer vent.
That's on every inspection report, y'all.
Exactly. Just
It's
kind
a
of
fire
do some
hazard.
routine maintenance things before you list your home, and then it'll be ready for the inspection. So-
True. Home inspections, you're paying someone to find everything wrong with that house. So, if you can do little things, to just make that list a little shorter, it sure does look better to the buyer.
And we actually have a list.
We
You
do.
know that we have, that if you work with us, we give to you.
We do.
So, and recommendations that we can share of things that you should be doing before you list, and certainly before the home inspection. So,
Why you should list with Sweet Magnolia Homes and
Cheers.
buy with us too.
cheers to that.
Cheers. So yeah, I think we covered most of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people will have questions as they go through the home buying and selling process, but that's why you hire us, and that's why we're always happy to help you through every step of the process.
So yeah, thanks y'all. I mean, we're closing in here at the end of the year. Happy Memorial Day.
Yes.
Happy Memorial Day. Happy end of school to all you parents with everyone from kindergarten up to college. Yep.
Lots of graduations.
Lots of graduations
You
coming
just
up.
had an anniversary.
I just had an
Congratulations to
anniversary.
you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Wall for your
Thank you.
anniversary and these lovely roses.
Our backdrop.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, yeah, and you and I are going to see Heather McMahon.
Yes,
in 2
we
weeks.
are.
Yay.
So I think we should probably post a little bit. I'm sure, I mean, Heather needs to know who we are. So anyways,
We will probably go live from the show.
I think we will.
Very, very
Tune
much
in.
looking forward to our Sweet Magnolia Homes field trip.
So thanks for joining us, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.